In a moment that sent shockwaves through the Christian world, gospel legend Donnie McClurkin didn't hold back on stage, humiliating fellow preacher Donnie Swaggart in front of a packed congregation and thousands watching online. The words, as savage as they were unexpected, "You call that a sermon?" It wasn't just a roast, it was a public takedown. And the internet has been on fire ever since. What really happened behind the scenes? Was this a planned jab or a spontaneous eruption? And why is the Swaggart ministry staying silent? Let's unpack the chaos, the controversy, and the consequences in this explosive deep dive. The lights were bright, the music was loud, the congregation packed. It was a joint ministry revival night, one of those kingdom unity events aimed at bringing leaders from different Christian denominations together on one stage. Donnie McClurkin was slated as the guest performer and preacher for the night, while Donnie Swaggart was scheduled to deliver the opening sermon. Everything was running smoothly until it wasn't. Eyewitnesses say that Donnie Swaggart's sermon felt off, disconnected, lacking the fire that used to define his father's legacy. Social media users watching the livestream began commenting, "Is he okay? What is Donnie even talking about? This ain't the Swaggart fire I remember." Then came the moment no one saw coming. As Donnie McClurkin took the stage, he was supposed to sing, but before touching the mic to sing, he looked out over the crowd and, in a half laugh, said, "I don't know what I just heard, but if that's what passes for a sermon now, Lord, help us." And then the bomb dropped. "You call that a sermon?" The audience gasped. Some laughed nervously, others sat in stunned silence. Donnie Swaggart, still seated on the side of the stage, was visibly uncomfortable. Clips from the livestream started circulating within minutes. Hashtags like #McClurkinSwaggart, #ChurchDrama, and #sermonshaming started trending across X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. YouTubers began doing reaction videos. Donnie McClurkin went too far? Swaggart humiliated in his own house. McClurkin unleashed the roast of the century. Even secular pages picked up the drama, but the reactions were divided. Team McClurkin. He said what we were all thinking. The Swaggarts have been off for a long time. Someone had to say it. Donnie McClurkin always keeps it real, God bless him. Team Swaggart. That was uncalled for. No matter how weak the sermon, this was not the place. Disrespectful, unchristlike, disgraceful. While McClurkin has been praised for his authenticity, he's not without his own controversy. He's spoken publicly about his personal battles with sexuality, faith, and depression. He's been both celebrated and criticized for his transparency. And now, critics are saying he's crossed the line. "Just because you're a better singer doesn't mean you're a better preacher," one user wrote. Others speculated that there may be long-standing tension between the Swaggart and McClurkin camps, citing past theological disagreements and behind-the-scenes ministry competition. In typical Swaggart fashion, Donnie and his ministry have refused to issue a public statement, hoping perhaps that the storm will pass. But silence has only fueled speculation. Is Donnie embarrassed? Was he warned before the event? Will the Swaggarts ban McClurkin from future events? Even Frances Swaggart was unusually quiet on her Francis and Friends show, avoiding the topic completely, despite callers asking about the incident. Rumors are swirling that Donnie confronted McClurkin backstage. Some say the two exchanged heated words. "Don't ever disrespect me like that again. Then don't get on stage unprepared." Nothing has been confirmed, but those who were backstage described a tense atmosphere, with both men surrounded by their teams, avoiding eye contact for the rest of the night. Some even claim that McClurkin left the event early, refusing to stay for the final prayer. This isn't just church drama, this is about the future of ministry, generational shifts, the disconnect between firebrand preachers of the past and today's evolving church landscape. Donnie McClurkin represents a more raw, emotional, unfiltered form of ministry, one that prioritizes authenticity over tradition. Donnie Swaggart, on the other hand, represents legacy, structure, and the inherited pressures of being the son of a televangelism icon. The clash wasn't just personal, it was symbolic. It asked one big question: what is a sermon supposed to be in 2025? Will Donnie McClurkin apologize? Highly unlikely. Will the Swaggarts address it? Maybe, if the heat gets too strong. One thing is certain, this moment has changed public perception of both men, and whether you loved or hated it, you won't forget it. In the words of one viral tweet, McClurkin didn't just drop the mic, he slapped it on Swaggart's forehead. In a time when the church is already grappling with internal scandals, financial scrutiny, and generational transitions, this moment felt like a metaphor for a deeper struggle. Is ministry a performance? Is legacy enough? And who gets to define what preaching looks like today? Only time will tell if the wounds heal, or if this is the beginning of an all-out feud between two of gospel's biggest names. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over. The event was held at a large-scale revival gathering, a unity conference meant to bring together preachers from across denominations. Both Donnie Swaggart and Donnie McClurkin were top billed. Donnie Swaggart had the prime spot to preach, and took to the pulpit in his signature style. High-energy, passionate delivery, but heavily repeating phrases from his father, Jimmy Swaggart. People in the audience quickly noticed it sounded more like recycled material than a fresh word. McClurkin sat quietly, observing Swaggart's entire sermon, his expression unreadable. As Swaggart finished and the crowd gave a polite applause, McClurkin approached the stage. Instead of opening with prayer or song, he stared directly into the crowd and spoke the words that would rock the church world. "I don't know what I just heard," McClurkin said with a laugh that quickly turned serious, "but if that's what's passing as a sermon these days, then Lord, help us." Then came the gut punch. "You call that a sermon?" The room fell into absolute silence. Some shifted uncomfortably. Others gasped. Swaggart, seated on the side, looked blindsided, his jaw tightening but his mouth staying shut. Cameras caught everything, and within minutes the moment was clipped, uploaded, and spreading like wildfire. Social media went into meltdown. Hashtags like #McClurkinSwaggart and #ChurchDrama were instantly trending. YouTubers made reaction videos with titles like "McClurkin destroys Donnie Swaggart live and you call that preaching?" Twitter was split in half. Some defended McClurkin, praising him for speaking the truth. Others said it was unnecessary and disrespectful. Influential preachers took to Instagram with mixed messages, some calling out McClurkin for embarrassing a brother in Christ, others applauding him for holding preachers accountable. Behind the scenes, insiders claimed this wasn't as spontaneous as it looked. Reports surfaced of long-standing tension between McClurkin and the Swaggart ministry. Sources said McClurkin had grown tired of what he considered surface-level showmanship in certain preaching circles, and the Swaggarts were at the center of that frustration. Years of silent frustration had finally reached a boiling point, and that night McClurkin snapped. "He's been saying behind closed doors for years that the church needs to get back to the word," one anonymous pastor told reporters. That night, he said it loud enough for the world to hear. Meanwhile, Donnie Swaggart's camp remained silent. Neither Swaggart nor the Family Worship Center issued any statement. Francis Swaggart, who rarely misses an opportunity to defend the ministry, ignored multiple calls for comment. According to some church insiders, Francis was furious behind the scenes, but the family had made a collective decision not to dignify McClurkin's remarks with a response, hoping the media storm would pass quickly. But it didn't. The viral moment continued to dominate headlines in Christian media for days. Congregations were debating it, church members were fighting on Facebook comment sections, and some even questioned the future of the Swaggart ministry. This public moment had done more damage to Donnie Swaggart's image than any private scandal could. People began openly asking whether Donnie Swaggart was truly called to ministry, or simply carrying a family brand forward without substance.